Pretty
Right.
kick-ass.
B is rolling. A is rolling.
Timer's rolling.
This is Libby Road and the Sound Epistemology Podcast. Episode 21 of the Street Epistemology Truth Survey touches on the benefits of holding beliefs that are likely true and how our beliefs affect other people. It's important to remember that the videos in this series aren't typical SE interviews, but more of an exploration of how two friends view ideas about truth and reality. Please enjoy number 21 of the Street Epistemology Survey on the Sound Epistemology Podcast.
It is beneficial to find out when I am wrong about something. Yeah.
And we both strongly agree.
Well, we just finished that last discussion stating just that, right? That it's beneficial to find out when I'm wrong about something.
It's beneficial to find out that you didn't put enough oil in the crankcase. It benefits you because that means that you're not going to seize up your motor.
It's beneficial to find out when the thinking I have been operating under is not serving me well. It's devastating at times, but it's a way to explore, develop, and practice new ways of thinking and behaving so that I can be more effective. And I'd rather find out I was wrong about it, even though it might hurt like hell, than be an oblivious wanker. Because I know what that feels like too. I have a PhD in it.
Yeah.
What's an example of something that was beneficial to find out you were wrong about, but that you fought, that you opposed when you first were made to know that it was wrong, that you were wrong about it?
The belief that there was a supernatural mind that cared about me.
Well, that hurt to find out that
I fought it.
you fought
I
it.
fought it. I wanted a God to be real. I wanted it to be real because that would mean that my life would be a lot easier. The people that I hung out with, the community that I was in, they all believed it. So it's easier. Somebody's life is probably easier if they're not going against the grain from the rest of their community. It probably would have been easier for me. I fought it. I was like, I want this to be true. But I think it's beneficial to understand that my reasons for believing that are not sufficient reasons to believe stuff. The reasons that I had.
How long did you resist
Oh,
the news?
that's a good question. That's a good question. There was a time where I resisted, and there was a time where I didn't care. Like it wasn't a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
Either way. And then I started caring again about whether that was true or not. And I, again, realized that the reasons that I had for believing it were not sufficient. And so it's been beneficial to me to find that out.
But at the time, it did not seem beneficial.
No, I couldn't find. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to look back and feel and try to understand my mind at that time.
Mm-hmm.
We have kind of this advantage of hindsight. I think there's this heuristic that talks about, like right now, we can have the same mind as when we did before, and I don't think that's always possible. We have different experiences, and we have a different vantage point than when we were in that, when we were, in that state of mind. So it's kind of hard to describe. But I remember, I wanted to believe, that there was this supernatural being that cared about me. It was comforting.
Yeah.
It was a sense of comfort. Well, I'll be able to see them again someday.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's beneficial to know the truth than to be believing something that's not true.
Is that incident where this ethos that you've adopted really solidified, or is that more recent years that you've kind of adopted this house banner of it's important for me to believe true things?
Oh. You're asking if the importance to believe true things, is that a newer thing for me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Is that where it began?
It seems like I can't think of a time where believing true things was not important to me.
Except for when you were believing in a...
Yeah, well, it was still important that I was believing true things.
I
was just not aware of the insufficiency of the reasons I was using to get there.
Okay.
And again, this is hindsight,
Sure.
with the advantage of all the experience and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I definitely don't feel like I've arrived at the truth necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm convinced that it's always been important for me for my beliefs to match reality.
Mm. Okay.
That's why this SE, I resonate so well with it, because that's what it's about. It's about, having your beliefs align with reality, and why that's important, and why it's important for our community to have good reasons for believing what they do, because it affects all of us. What you believe directly or indirectly affects me, and what I believe affects you indirectly or directly. It's hard
because of my behavior choices.
Well, it affects my behavior. My beliefs affect my behavior. Your beliefs affect your behavior, and your behavior affects me. Mm-hmm. We're all connected in one way or another, and that's one demonstration of how we are. Mm-hmm. It affects the way we vote. Mm-hmm. It affects what our kids are taught in science class. And that affects the rest of us. And I say our kids, like the next generation. the people that are going to be taking care of us in the nursing home, I want them to have a good grasp on what reality is and to use good, reliable methods to find out if things are the case. Because if they say, well, you don't need this medicine because I have faith that my creator is going to make you well. If I'm in the nursing home, I would rather them use a more reliable method. So that's an example of how somebody's belief could affect me or my loved ones, or, you know. That's why I think it's important to understand how beneficial it is to know when I'm wrong. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think I've already said. I think it's a short one because it's to me it's quite clear.
Yeah. It would take a lot to convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see the barriers. I see the obstacles for people of finding out when they're wrong about something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually to do with pride and ego, and as you say, having something that already works just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be serving me well.
Mm-hmm.
But and that can be hard to be made aware that that's wrong. Well, that's not right. That's not easy news to hear.
Right. There's a saying that says, skeptics are often the bearers of bad news.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
There's also another one, and I think this is Plato, that said, the people that speak the truth are the most hated.
Yeah. Which is why it's nice to just listen.
Yeah.
At a tool like this.
And it's nice to have somebody to talk to about this,
Yeah.
knowing my intentions and knowing that I'm not just trying to hate on everybody.
Right. Or dunk on everyone.
Right.
Not in it for the blood sport.
Right. Yeah.